Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and recently we discovered that the next Dragonflight update of the patch 10.2.5 has finally made its way over on the PTR realms. Patch 10.2.5 is very similar to every other 0.5 patches before it, which is a smaller update that doesn't include massive and major seasonal features. But like every other 0.5 patch before it, it does bring with it even more conveniences, customizations, and even more world activities. This update brings additional public events like Azerothian Archives, even more additional story of us reclaiming the zone of Gilneas, a new mode for soloing dungeons, additional character and even class customization options, even more holiday revamps, and so many more collectibles and transmog for us to obtain. As most PTR builds go, they will usually roll out additional changes over the next few weeks, which I hope to cover on this channel, especially if we see additional class adjustments like entire talent tree revamps, which I think playstyles such as the Hunter and the Monk definitely could use in the future. But for now, I wanted to do a deeper look at some of the upcoming features arriving with the future patch of the 10.2.5, which is currently available for testing over on the PTR. But right before we take a look at this PTR overview, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway. Especially if you want to get more regular content regarding Dragonflight patch 10.2.5 or any of the future updates going forward. One of the most exciting features for the patch 10.2.5 is going to be dragon riding, or renamed dynamic flying, which is now unlocked everywhere within any zone of Azeroth. On launch, at first, only dragons will be able to use dynamic flying in any of the older world zones. However, with the launch of the War Within, the next World of Warcraft expansion, they plan to expand dynamic flying to as many other mounts as possible. And as a bonus for the 10.2.5, Evokers will gain access to use dragon riding or dynamic flying as part of their own unique racial, which gives you access to the same speeds as well as all of the other dragon riding abilities, allowing you to dive down, swoop up, and surge forward just like every other dragon. However, dynamic flying feature will be a little bit slower out in the older world zones compared to the Dragon Isles, roughly 20% slower. And if you were to hop on the PTR and compare the flying speeds, you will notice that flying within Dragon Isles is a little bit faster, but not by much. And this version of dragon riding is still incredibly quick in comparison to the original flying system, which I'll take any day when traversing the open world outside of the Dragon Isles. Another feature coming with the patch 10.2.5 is follower dungeons, which allows you to queue for solo normal dungeons or partner up with up to 4 other players into a follower dungeon experience. Follower dungeons will include follower companions that will either tank, heal, or deal damage for your group, and these followers will adjust depending on the role that you choose to play. These follower companions have advanced movement and ability usage priority system, similar to the player NPCs that you will find within the islands of Battle for Azeroth or from the enemies that you'll fight within the Comstomp Battleground Brawls. These followers will try to act like players. They will jump, interrupt abilities, use crowd control, and the tank follower will even pull enemies around the corner to make sure that the dungeon packs are in a nice little clump, so that the DPS members of the party can AoE them down much more easily. These follower dungeons will be available for the 8 initial Dragonflight dungeons, and will award the same type of rewards as a normal dungeon would. Follower dungeons sounds to me like a fantastic learning experience for brand new players who might feel overwhelmed and even rushed when joining random dungeons with other players, where they might feel hurried to get to the bosses as quickly as possible or be pulled around in every direction, and they don't really have the time to pick up on the boss mechanics or even figure out what the class is supposed to do. The follower dungeons would give those players the opportunity to explore the dungeons as much as they want to, and either rush through it or go by slowly, learning what each enemy does. And this mode may be fantastic for learning some of the class basics, like if you want to start tanking or healing or pick up a ranged DPS, but feel overwhelmed when jumping into group content, and the follower dungeons would allow you to explore that class and different talents and help you figure out all the basics on your own before you dive headfirst into group content. 10.2.5 also features even more character customizations specifically for Draenei and Trolls. For now, trolls will have access to a few new hair color options, while Draenei get access to a new skin option. And we will probably see even more customization options over the next few weeks as we get even more PTR builds. On the topic of customizations, we also got even more demons that Warlocks will be able to customize in the 10.2.5. Specifically when it comes to Affliction Warlocks who can now customize their Dark Layer models. First of all, the Observers are back, and if you want to change your Dark Layer into the old school Observer, then you can with this new update. And you can even pick up a unique demon model that was added during the Mists of Pandaria to really shake up the appearance of your one-eyed fiend. Demonology Warlocks will be able to also customize their Tyrant with a couple of different skin options which were available and present in some of the elites and enemies found during the expansion of Legion. Next, we have a new open world activity of Azerothian Archives, which isn't fully available for testing over on PTR as of this build, but we will likely see even more additions and improvements over the next few weeks. Azerothian Archives will be a brand new history and discovery activity within the Dragon Isles, which will include new public events which will have a solo component but also a group component as well in the Zone of Trader's Rest in Azure Span. Completing Azerothian Archives public events will allow you to unlock things like mounts, pets, transmogs, and likely even more catch-up gear, which is something we've seen added over the last few weeks with every other public event, similar to things like Dream Surges, Time Rifts, and even the Primalist Invasions. In patch 10.2.5, we also get the storyline where we go back to reclaim Gilneas, which was originally a Worgen starting zone back in the expansion of Cataclysm, though mostly abandoned after you finish the Worgen intro questline. They're not planning to do any testing for the storyline over on the PTR since that would include spoilers, but we do know that King Greymane is ready to take back his kingdom, but Gilneas is not as empty as everybody expected. Though I imagine interacting and completing the storyline once it is out will award us with even more cosmetics and potentially even mounts, and I'm sure there's going to be extra goodies available for any players that are playing Worgen as of today. Lastly, we are to expect a ton of new cosmetics and collectibles added for the patch 10.2.5, as they follow through with even more holiday revamps. This time around, the tackle on the holiday of love is in the air, with a variety of transmogs, weapons, mounts, and even pets, as well as a variety of other transmogs for other spring holidays and even Explorer transmog available. We even get the Dreadlord attire, likely as part of the Trader's Tender transmog collection, and even more dragon riding customizations as part of the holiday refresher, with the proto-dragons getting new armors for the Love is in the Air holiday, while the Slither Drake gets the Lunar Festival armor and helmet attire. And for now, that's going to be the full list of upcoming features arriving with the next content update of Dragonflight patch 10.2.5, currently available for testing over on the PTR. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.